Hey there, folks. Welcome to another episode of HMF Live. My name is Tanya. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about inflammation and foods. So, if you deal with maybe asthma or arthritis or achy joints, respiratory issues, lots of different things are actually a result of inflammation. So if you deal with any of those things, this is definitely an episode that you will want to tune into. And then I also will share with you in the comments after I post this recording, I will share with you some of the resources that I got some of this information so you can actually dig deeper and get even more tips, tools, resources, foods, ideas, and stuff that will help you reduce some of your inflammatory symptoms. So, as always, I appreciate you watching, whether it's here live or after the fact in the recording. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who don't know, as I said, my name is Tanya. I am the founder of Hustle to Muscle Fitness. I am a health and fitness coach, and through my own journey, I have learned a lot of things along the way, and I love to learn, especially when it comes to your body and how it operates, how it functions, the best foods, all that kind of stuff. So health and nutrition. And I love to share that and teach others. So thanks for watching, and let's get into today's show. So first of all, let me just start by saying inflammation isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's basically your body's way, your immune system. It's basically its way of springing it into action when there's something going on in the body, illness or something that isn't quite right. It's your body's way of bringing your white blood cells, your immune system to whatever that spot is and kind of helping to protect, attack, and heal. Now, that can sometimes come in the form of swelling or redness in the area, like puffiness, heat even. It might feel like kind of warm to the touch, or pain. And, thinking of stuff like when you cut yourself and you kind of see that red and inflammation kind of happen, the swelling and soreness. So that's one way to think of inflammation. But there's a lot more inflammation that happens in the body that we feel, but we may not necessarily know is inflammation happening. And it can happen for a variety of reasons. And I'll get into some of those details here in a minute. But basically, when our immune system overreacts and it's kind of hyperstimulated, that's where you get a lot of autoimmune issues. So leaky gut, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, even asthma, those sorts of things, those can be autoimmune issues. And that's because your immune system is thinking that it's like constantly under attack and can't necessarily discern between what's your body and its natural elements and processes versus a foreign substance or something that's not supposed to be there. And so your body's just kind of fighting itself. It's overreacting. And inflammation can also occur in the form of migraines. Like I said in the beginning, achy joints, asthma, and arthritis, things that like I said, achy joints, things like that. Anything really with your organs as well. So migraines, like your brain can actually suffer from inflammation. Asthma and respiratory issues, your lungs is another organ that can suffer from inflammation. And actually, just a side note statistic, in the United States alone, there are over 22 million people that suffer from asthma. And of those, about 6 million are children. It's like 9% of all children 9 or 10% of all children have asthma, which is tripled from where it was at in like 1980. I was just talking with a coworker of mine today, and we were talking about how we didn't see or hear about all these different food allergies and different issues like asthma when we were growing up. It was more rare. And now it's pretty commonplace to hear if a kid has asthma, a kid has gluten allergies, dairy allergies, all that kind of stuff. And without getting too much into a side topic soapbox, it's just lack of quality foods that our kids are being fed, or have access to. Okay, so we kind of have to help our immune systems be, hyper intelligent to being able to distinguish between what is our body, real and natural, and what is, something that might be an artificial or foreign item, ingredient, element that shouldn't be in our bodies or in our systems. And your gut health is directly impacted and connected to your immune system. So things like leaky gut, as I mentioned earlier. 70 to 80% of our immune tissue is actually located in the digestive system. So that's where food plays the biggest influence in inflammation and in our overall health. You know, the things that we eat. And so I'm going to give you a list of foods to avoid. Now, this isn't necessarily across the board, but in general, and it's going to be different by each person. Some people are going to be super sensitive to lots of different things, and some people not so much. They might, have to kind of pick and choose and kind of discover what really sort of triggers their body into inflammation and what doesn't really bother them so much. And then I will also end with giving you a list of some anti-inflammatory foods that you might want to consider starting to incorporate into your regular diet to help reduce inflammation, especially if you have an autoimmune issue. And so that's really going to be a crucial part. So first of all, foods to avoid, and this one I can say is pretty safe across the board for everybody. Processed, packaged foods, fast food. A lot of that is because it's filled with artificial ingredients, artificial chemicals, and there are a lot of people who have sensitivities to like food color, like the different dyes, like yellow dye and red dye and those kinds of things. Those are just a few. So staying away from processed and packaged foods, fast food, it's really just kind of poisoning yourself very slowly. But it causes a lot of problems inside the body. Eventually you see it on the outside as your waistline expands, but before you even get to that point, there's a lot of bad things going on in your body around your organs, your digestion, your immune system, all those sorts of things. So processed packaged foods, first thing to go. You also want to avoid trans fats. Again, a lot of times you find that, like the saturated trans fatty acids, you'll find that again mostly in packaged and processed foods. So if you stay away from the processed stuff, you're really going to cut down on your exposure to the trans fats. Simple and refined sugar. So basically like your white table sugar, even your brown sugar, high fructose corn syrups. All those sorts of things are your refined sugar, which means refined kind of makes it sound like it's supposed to be really good and even fancy because it's refined. But honestly, what that means is they have almost stripped it from its natural form and have processed it so much that any source of being one of the better, I almost said gooder, one of the better natural sweeteners, it really has just turned it into just this sugary, addictive chemical that may have started out as a natural product, but no longer has any kind of nutritional value. Also, simple and refined carbs. So like for a lot of people, again, gluten, but like wheat, semolina flours, those sorts of things, other grains, those can be very inflammatory for people who are sensitive to them, not just people who have gluten sensitivities, but you're talking about like your white bread, flours, regular pastas, flour tortillas, those sorts of things. Those are all considered simple and refined carbs. Refined grains, so like I said, some of those semolina grains. Also, dairy is another one for some people. Like I have a dairy I have a dairy allergy, lactose intolerant, and so very limited on the types of dairy that I can eat. Like I can do Greek yogurt just fine, and that's because it's I would say it's probably more of a pure form of dairy, as opposed to like homogenized milk. I can't do really milk or ice cream. I can't do regular yogurt, and because in that case the inflammation, like it swells my digestive system and bloating and gas, and luckily it's not a life-threatening illness, but I still experience inflammation because that's a food allergy. And then also legumes. So that's a lot of some of your beans, but also peanut butter. Peanuts are a legume, so you hear of a lot of peanut allergies. Some people that are very, very allergic to peanuts can't even be in the same room with them. That's another big culprit for some people. So again, I'm not saying that all of these foods across the board, but if you do have issues with inflammation or autoimmune issues or things like asthma, stuff like that, it may just be a good practice to eliminate those from your diet and keep your instances of inflammation or like asthma attacks or arthritis, things like that, keep those down to a minimum. Okay, let's get into some foods that are anti-inflammatory that can actually help combat some of those things and just help your body function better, whether it's your joints, your organs, your immune tissues, things like that. So, and then also I'm just going to throw this in there now, exercise. You know, throwing in more physical activity can help your body function better and keep your inflammation down to a minimum as well. So here's some foods. So leafy greens, so like spinach, Swiss chard, those are some really great foods to add into your diet that will help combat inflammation. Bok choy, it's a type of cabbage, actually really good, I like it. But that's another one, it's kind of a leafy green too, but that's another one that is really great. Celery, pretty common. Beets, I'm not a big fan, but you might be. Beets is another good one. Broccoli is a great one. That's a cruciferous vegetable. Again, has lots of other properties as well. Blueberries. So now we're getting into some of the fruits. And the nice thing with a lot of the berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, is they're not high in sugars either. So they have antioxidants, they're lower in natural sugars, and also like blueberries are anti-inflammatory. So it's hard to go wrong with berries. I think my cat's trying to get in. Let's see. Pineapple, that's another great one. And of course, pineapple, I love citrus fruits, and so that's another good one for you. Salmon is a good one because your fish tend to have higher amounts of omega-3 fatty acids. What ends up happening is that we have, in the standard American diet, we have a higher amount, we take in a higher amount of omega-6 fatty acids, and too much, honestly. We need some, but we take in too much. What we need is to have the balance of the omega-3s to balance out the 6s, and we tend to not get enough 3s in. So salmon's a great form of omega-3 fatty acids that will also help balance the 6 and again help fight inflammation. Bone broth. I think at some point I will do an episode just on bone broth because there are so many amazing health benefits to bone broth if you get it, if you make it, or you get the right quality of bone broth. But it's an anti-inflammatory food and has a lot of other amazing benefits to it. Like I said, I'll do a separate episode on that here down the road. Walnuts. Again, going back to the omega-3s, another great source, helps to combat inflammation. Coconut oil, chia seeds, flax seeds, turmeric, that's a spice, that's another great source, and ginger. So all of these are, just to get you started, these are all some great foods to start incorporating into your diet if you are trying to battle inflammation. Again, I would definitely recommend it if you have autoimmune issues. And like I said, with the foods to avoid, I can't say that's a blanket statement across the board for everybody. You might be able to get away with grains. They may not bother you. Someone else maybe can't have any. So, but these are just, I wanted to share with you a little bit about inflammation, what it is, how it's a direct response from your immune system and directly related to your gut and your gut health. And really, whether your health is in good or bad condition, it starts with your stomach. It starts with your gut because there's so much immune tissue in your gut, and there's also a lot of neurological tissue in your gut. It's like your second brain. So good or bad, your health starts with your gut. So if you take care of your body will take care of you. And inflammation is one of those things where it's your body saying that something isn't right. And you can prevent some of those things from happening by removing some of those food triggers. You know, that there might be environmental triggers, like especially in the case of asthma, so like smoke, smog, that kind of stuff. And there might be some things that you can't control, but you definitely can control your food and what you bring into your body in that way. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful. And if you've got more questions or concerns, post them in the comments below, or you're free to message me as well if it's more of a private issue or question that you might have. Feel free to message me. I am always happy to help, and if it's something that I don't know, I will tell you, but I'm also willing to go out and look for answers. So as I said, I got a lot of this information from a couple of different sources. The Model Health Show, great podcast. I definitely recommend it. And then also the Dr. Axe website. So I will put the links to both of those resources in the comments after I post this video, so you can go and check it out and get more information. Another great podcast is Nutritional Weight and Wellness. They do a lot of excellent shows on health and healing with whole foods. So I definitely recommend all those three resources right there. So I hope this was helpful. As always, I love to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching. And if there are other topics that you would like me to address, send me a message, comment, make suggestions. Go to the Facebook page, Hustle to Muscle Fitness, and you can comment there, make suggestions. I'm always open to giving you more of the information that you want and that is useful to you. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. I also wanted to say before I wrap this up, as you know, we've been in the process of buying a house and getting ready to move, and today is March 21st. So we close this Friday, so March 24th, and we moved the 25th. So this is the last episode of HMF Live from my current location, from my current house, from this current office, which is, like I said, all boxes. This is the last episode from here, and so next week, when I do the next episode, it'll be from our new location, probably still in boxes, but my new office and my new home, our new home. So I'm excited about that. But thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you on, hopefully, we'll see. Saturday's moving day. Normally, that's when I do my team shout-outs. So hopefully I'll see you sometime this weekend for team shout-outs. And if by chance I don't, I will see you next Tuesday for the next episode of HMF Live from our new house. So have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a happy and healthy day. Bye.